dry, brittle hooves that just won't hold a shoe. I know if you're a horse person, you've had problems like these, and it's not uncommon, quite frankly, especially with today's diets and with the weather change, extreme weather changes that we've had and so on recently. But they can be improved. Hoof care literally starts from the inside out. There's some things you can do topically, and I'll mention those too, but the real key to hoof care is from the inside out. And there's a lot of hoof care products out there. Most of them contain things like biotin, lysine, methionine, and your hoof care product, your hoof supplement should contain those too. But there's other things. You need to look at the minerals. Many of your hoof care supplements have massive amounts of minerals. You know, we often hear about getting horses out of balance with supplementation. In my opinion, this is the most likely source of getting horses out of balance is with hoof care supplementation. It's because of the massive amount of minerals that are involved with those hoof supplements. That the key there is helping the hooves nutritionally, but not getting them out of balance again. And here's an example of that. If they have a hoof problem, they definitely have deficiencies in minerals. When you give them a typical hoof care supplement, you fill those deficiencies with those massive amounts of minerals, but you oftentimes will tip the scales the other way and again get them out of balance in some other way. So we've kind of taken a different approach to our hoof supplementation. We do use minerals. We certainly do use biotin and methionine and lysine more than you'll find in any other product that I know of. But we have a natural source of minerals, a very concentrated natural source of minerals, but not just a little of this, a little of that, man's idea of what they need. We have in there what man knows they need, but we also have Mother Nature's minerals that they're probably not going to get from anywhere else. So it's not like you're going to get them out of balance, with just a few major minerals. You're going to provide what they need. Supplements are they're going to get nutrition that they're not going to get from anywhere else probably. Our minerals are from the desert, used to be the ocean, zillions of years ago or whatever, but there's micronutrients in there that were still in that ocean way back when that are still attached to those minerals, so they're more readily absorbed. You might have heard the term chelation, colloidal, that's another buzzword there, but bottom line is the stuff that was in that ocean is still attached to those minerals, so they're more readily absorbed. Proteinated, that's another word. That's more of a where you actually attach amino acids to them. So bottom line is we're real careful with our minerals. We're real careful with our lysine, methionine, and biotin. And then also in our product called Hoof Check, we add all your gut probiotics. Very important for a hoof care product. I don't know of any other product that even has that in any way, shape, or form in their hoof supplements, but it all starts in the gut anyway. So normally you won't need Hoof Check forever and ever. It's just to get them over the hump, get those feet to where they're much, much better as quickly as possible. And then if you'll take advantage of our regular regimen as far as feeding and horse care, you won't even have hoof problems to start with, or anymore. Let's put it that way.
Got it.
Okay, that's good.
You want to do another?
Yeah, I want to do one more quick one.
I always keep it framed the same way.
All right.
Okay.
Thrush and white line. These are not common problems, but common enough that everybody knows about them, and they all have their own treatment for them. Many times with white line disease, for those that don't know, it's basically a situation where most people think it's fungus that causes it. I don't think that's the real cause, and I'll explain why in just a minute. But basically the hoof wall separates from the sole, and there's a crack up between the two that some of them you can stick a pocket knife in up so far. Literally the hoof separates from the sole itself, and it causes a line around the inside of the hoof wall if you look at the bottom of the hoof. Pretty nasty situation because all kinds of junk can get up in there, and just the mud and stuff packs up in there. Thrush, we tend to think of it as a wet conditions type problem where the hoof becomes deteriorated, where a fungus actually sets up housekeeping and causes the problem. Let me kind of give you a different perspective on the cause of thrush and white line, in my opinion. Right or wrong, I don't know, but it's my story, and I'm sticking with it. And it makes sense if you think about it, because what idea of hoof care or of thrush and white line is, if it were just the fungus that were causing the problem, wouldn't you agree that every horse in the barn would probably have it? Usually that's not the case. If you have a horse with thrush or white line, it's usually just a horse with thrush or white line. The other horses in the barn that are getting the same feed, the same nutrition, the same environment for the most part, usually don't have the problems, usually just one or two. That tells me that the fungus is probably there, being exposed to all the horses. It's just that some horses have a higher resistance than others to it. Some are able to fight it off more than others, help get rid of the problem. And so that also tells me that the real key is to treat them from the inside out, to help with their immune system, to help boost their immune system. And we have some topical products you can put on the hoof. We call it Great Balm Hoof Healer. We have a product called Hoof Check Conditioner that is great as a daily type product. It's not difficult to use. It's real thin. In fact, most people just love it for a daily use. But the real key is treating them from the inside out, especially if you have thrush or white line, so that you're going to boost their immune system so they're more resistant to begin with to thrush or white line. And then if you're using our regular recommendations as far as feeding, you're not going to have problems like that, except very seldom anyway. Obviously some horses are like people. Some are more sick than others. Some have more problems than others. But even then, long term, you work on that immune system, you're going to have healthier hooves and, of course, a healthier horse overall. Thanks.